Sean Sale, Director of Just Applications. I'm here with Ian Montgomery from Excess Items. So Ian, just for our viewers, can you give us an understanding of Excess Items and what makes you unique?
Indeed, yeah. Excess Items, we set ourselves up to be the e-tailer of choice for excess stock. In principle, we don't deal in pristine stock. We tend to deal in end-of-line, customer returns, damaged box items, product that conventional retailers and distributors, manufacturers have difficulty moving on because it's not of their pristine nature through their normal channels. So Excess Items is all about making sure that we maximize the value of that stock. We make sure that the suppliers that we work with have clear visibility of how we are doing that, and making sure that we have transparency by using websites like eBay and Amazon so they have pure visibility of it. But the last thing is also we control how their brand is presented in the marketplace. Because we work on a revenue share agreement, the ownership of the stock lies with that supplier until the point of sale and payment. So we work with them to make sure that from a pricing perspective, from a presentational perspective, it's all in line with their own integrity around the brand. So we work with them to prove that.
In terms of excess stock, is there a certain type of product that you would pick and sell, or can it be anything?
It can be anything. I suppose the principle that we apply to this kind of situation is ensuring that there is value in the stock that we're selling through. There's little point in us working with a company to sell products that are sort of sub £50.
Sure.
£50 is really where we can add our value, whether it be in presentation, whether it be in testing and refurbishment side of things, whether it can be actually through the technical listing side of things from a keyword perspective. We can add the value into it, but all of that takes time and therefore cost. So if we're not selling through the item at the right level, then it doesn't become financially viable.
Sure. And looking at the channels like eBay and Amazon, I mean eBay, there's tools out there that can give you a good idea of what sell-through a product will have. Mm-hmm. What do you do with Amazon in terms of understanding how that product could make a profit?
Yeah. Much more difficult because there isn't the visibility of the sales structure on there. We've come up with a few little formulas ourselves that we've come up really through experience. Some of that is around how long has the product actually been live on there? What is the competition like? Are there a lot of people on there trying it, or is there just one and they're outpricing the rest of the marketplace? We start to look at triggers like that to see what is the potential sell-through rate. But more importantly, whenever we start working with a supplier, first thing we do is a trial. We work through on the basis of, okay, we've got this, we understand what the product set is, we understand what we believe the sell-through rate might be, but there's nothing better than a real-time trial to give real data back into the process to say, yes, this is viable, we can sell through at the correct price rate and create the correct return, financial return for our supplier. And we believe that we are able to manage it through our own process to make sure that it is viable. The trial is key in doing that.
Sure, because obviously with Amazon and the way that they, even eBay now, they focus on feedback. I mean, is that more tricky now with Amazon in terms of getting some sort of feedback from the product that's sold before? Because if you're selling stuff that's one-off, how do you make it?
Yeah, again, our listening team have a good background in understanding where do they think which channel is going to be best for them. But on the feedback side of things, whilst we treat each item uniquely, we can have, let's say, 200 Samsung S6 Edges in. They may have different conditions, so part of our process is making sure that they're as consistent as we can. So if we are going to put them on Amazon, there is a consistent element going through on that. Likewise, if we have product that is fundamentally different in its condition, we can put up individual listings on eBay that will show each one in its individual condition. So if there's marks on it, scratches on it, whatever it may be, we will have accurate, real photos of that item to sell through.
And you don't need to use any of the advertising campaigns in Amazon or eBay to push the product, because generally the price will.
The price does influence it, although we are experimenting and we continue to trial on some of the eBay promotional elements on there, and indeed with the Amazon. I think also with Google, with their recent change across the GTINs, and making sure that you've got all your reference numbers right in the descriptions, that again is boosting through on the SEO. But all of these things are part of our package of understanding the marketplaces in which we sell and how best to promote the product that we get through us.
Sure. Okay, so if I was a prospect and I had an excess number of mobile phones, do you charge me at the point of, I say, here's a bag of phones, or you mentioned the trial, so how does that work?
Indeed. One of the first things that we will discuss is the basis of our business model, which is a revenue share arrangement. We put in our efforts of the actual listing of the product, the development of the keywords, the approach as to what the pricing points are, what the sell-through rates and everything else, for a trial purpose. And the trial essentially sets out what is going to be the success factors that regards to this product. We don't pay for it up front because we enter into revenue share. The revenue share basis is we've got to try as hard as you try to get the maximum value out of that item. So we're not buying it from you and then making our margin. We're selling it for you, trying to get the maximum that we can for it and taking a share of that.
Sure. So would you be starting with 10 products, 5 products, or does it depend? I suppose it depends on the experience as well.
It depends on the experience, depends on, quite honestly, the amount of stock that you have on it. But we have undergone trials that have numbered from a couple of hundred units to several thousand. It depends totally on what you have got in your problem stock area and how we think we can help you in selling that through.
So in terms of the recommended retail price, so if, let's say for instance I've got a good idea of what I bought this batch of mobile phones for, do you then try and, obviously with your revenue share as well, try and come up with a price, or is that again experience of what is selling on eBay, Amazon, etc. to work it out?
Absolutely. It's a classic variable that the trial helps us come to an answer to. So part of the trial element is we try auctions, we try fixed price, we try buy it now best offers, we'll try the different channels, Amazon, eBay, different keywords, to get to the point of where is the price point for this type of product. It may be you have obsolete product that hasn't been on the market for a year or two, and with all the best intentions that may not have the value that it had previously. So part of the trial gets us to a proper data-driven knowledge which says, yep, this is the kind of sell value that we can get through. In terms of cost recovery, our clients share all of that information with us because we're not buying the product from them. We're working with them to sell that through. So all that information is kind of critical for us to come to a conclusion as to where is the best price point we can come with that. And the trial also enables us to say is, well, yeah, we can go for a higher price level, but it's going to slow down the sale rate. So what is the maximum of how much you can get and the sell-through rate that you're looking for? And again, that's part of the data-driven element of the trial that brings us to.
Do you have a timescale on the trial, or does it depend largely on how quickly you move?
Yeah, the variables are wide, but typically it's between 4 and 12 weeks over a trial period. Quantity of items, value of items, and the variety of the items that come through. If we are getting product in that have got a significant testing and refurbishment side of things, it obviously extends the life cycle and the time it takes to get that to market.
Okay, so say I'm one of the market leaders and I want to get rid of an excess batch of products, but I don't want anyone to know who I am. How do you deal with that?
Well, we understand the issue in the first instance. There can be channel conflict involved. There can actually be concerns over the brand and what effect that might have. So we do offer anonymity to our suppliers. In effect, it is excess items, which is on eBay, on Amazon, whichever channel it is, and we are selling that product. We don't state, unless you want us to, we don't state where that product comes from. And indeed, if a customer comes through to us having bought a product and then says to us, I want to know where it came from, we will not let that information out without talking to you in the first instance and saying, you know, there's a particular reason why this person wants to know where it comes from. Are you happy for us to share? But we understand absolutely the conflicts that can arise there and are keen to support you in that.
And any issues with the product, if there's knowledge not available here, you can go back to the source to get that information.
Absolutely right, absolutely right. We are the retailer, so we take on responsibility for that communication. If there are any issues with the product, we look to resolve it. But if it comes to the point where it's beyond our experience, we will go back and say, need help on this, but we won't ever feed that buyer back to the supplier without their prior recognition and agreement.
Great. Right, well thanks so much, Ian. Appreciate your time.
Thanks, Rich.
Thank you.